Hi everyone, it's Shireen. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is super exciting because it's all about the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette. In this video, I'm going to be doing swatches, a demo, and a review, so if you're interested, keep on watching and we'll get right into it. Subculture features grungy mattes and bold metallics. There's 11 matte shades, 2 duochromes, and 1 metallic. There's also a range of cool and warm tones, so the possibilities for creating looks are endless. All of these colors swatch beautifully and are extremely pigmented. Those little dots that you're seeing on my arm are because of my arm hairs. It has nothing to do with the shadows, so just FYI. For reference, my skin is fair, so this is what it will look like on you if you also have fair skin. Starting with the top row going left to right, we have Cube, a duochrome pink pearl, Dawn, an ultra matte sand, Destiny, an ultra matte sage green, Adorn, a metallic bronze, All-Star, an ultra matte vintage wine, Mercury, an ultra matte slate gray, and Axis, an ultra matte blue-green. Going into the second row, left to right, we have Roxy, an ultra matte muted coral, Electric, a duochrome lime gold, Fudge, an ultra matte warm bronze, New Wave, an ultra matte citron orange, Untamed, an ultra matte tarnished green, Edge, an ultra matte gold mustard, and Rowdy, an ultra matte blackened purple. I'm going to start off by taking a piece of tape, and you just want a little piece, just enough to connect from this part of your eye to like your eyebrow. So now that I have my tape, I'm just going to tape it onto the back of my hand, and I'm just going to peel this off and keep doing this like 2 or 3 times, and this is going to help remove the stickiness so that when you put it onto your eye, it's not going to remove your foundation or concealer that much as it would if you wouldn't do this. Now what I'm going to do is just connect this from this part right here, and I'm just going to place it down. This is really going to help us get that nice sharp defined line with our eyeshadow. And I'm just going to do this on the other side as well. Alright, now that we look like we got terrible plastic surgery, we're going to move on to concealing the eyes as a base. I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape, and we're just going to put down 1 dot on both eyes. I'm just going to blend this out. I'm going in with this Morphe brush. I like it because it's slightly angled, it's really packed in there with the bristles, and it just helps to blend out the product. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. And with this you want to extend it all the way up to the brow bone as well. And I also like taking this into these like inner corners of my eyes, only because they tend to get a little bit darker there, and this really helps to brighten them up. Now I'm going to go into my Subculture palette, and I'm going to use this light shade called Dawn, and I'm going to use this to just set my eyes. A little bit goes a long way with these shadows. This is only 2 swipes of picking up product, and it's packed on there. The key to Anastasia shadows is to be really light-handed with them since they are so pigmented, and the mattes especially, they have a bit more fallout than the metallic shades. So you just really want to be careful, make sure to tap off any excess. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I don't know if you can tell if the camera's picking this up or not, but there's a lot that is coming off the brush. Tapping off the excess is really going to help you to avoid fallout. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and set our concealer base. I'm just going to tap this all over the eye. I'm going to take this up to the brow bone as well. I just want to set everything. Next, I want to move into the crease color, and today I want to go for more of the bold colors, the colors that nobody's really messing around with. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Axis on my Morphe Deluxe blending brush, and I'm going to tap off the excess. There is so much that comes off. This is so key, you guys. Now I'm just going to lightly start taking this into my crease, starting with the outer corner, because this is where we want the most pigmentation, and then we're just going to take it inwards and just kind of gradient it and fade it out. You'll notice that I switched the position of my brush and I'm kind of holding it downwards. This is because the tapered bristles at the end of this brush are going to help me to blend it out more nicely It's just going to give it more of a blended finish. I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more shadow and darken up the crease. If you have slightly hooded eyes like I do, I find it really helpful to look kind of straight on once you're done blending out the crease color, just to see if there's any areas where one eye is slightly higher than the other. So, like the shadow, not your actual eye, obviously. So for me, I'm noticing that on this eye, I kind of want to take it up a little bit more just to match this side, because this side has the shadow up a little bit higher. And then in order to actually blend out the shadow, kind of tilt your head up a little bit and look down so that you're opening up your lid space on your eye. Like, you can just see more of your lid and it makes it easier to work with. I'm just going to keep repeating these same steps, just making sure to really blend out this color. You want to use a combination of circular motions and windshield wiper back and forth motions to blend out this crease color. Now moving on to the lid, I'm going to pick up some of Untamed on this flat, small Morphe brush, and I'm going to start to make a halo eye. So I'm going to place this right at the inner and outer third of my eye. You know how with most matte shadows, you really have to dig your brush into the product just to get some pigmentation? This is not the case at all for these shadows. You truly need just a little bit, and it goes such a long way. With Anastasia shadows, less is more, for sure. Now that we have these shadows placed down, I'm going to go ahead and run a clean blending brush through them just to blend out the edges. You'll notice that I'm using the same technique that I was using on my crease, starting with having the brush pointed kind of upwards and then bringing it downwards. Now I'm going to go in with edge right in the center with another small flat Morphe brush. Now taking the same exact brush, I'm just going to flip it over and take electric and put it right on top of edge. Now I'm going to go back in with the same Luxy blending brush that we used to blend out the inner and outer third earlier. I'm just going to take whatever product is remaining on here and just continue to blend out. You want to make sure to blend around the halo as well so that it creates a soft transition. Now I'm going to go with this small flat brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to take a cube and place this into my inner corners. I'm kind of having a hard time getting this to show. I'm just going to keep packing it on though and see if that helps. Okay, there we go. You just have to pack it on a little bit more than the other shadows. So for a cube, you want to do the opposite of what I just told you to do with the matte shadows. You want to pick up a lot and just really pack it on there. I'm also holding my brush kind of flat towards my eye so that it's like flush with my eye. This is going to help me have more precision and control instead of just holding it like this. When you hold it just straight on, it's going to be kind of floppy and all over the place and you don't have as much control with it. Alright, now that I'm done with this top part, I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape and we're going to work on the lower lash line. This nice sharp line though. Whoo girl! This line is so sharp. I love it. This is like my favorite hack ever for nice sharp lines. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with the same brush that we used to set our concealer, and I'm going to pick up All Star and just smoke out the lower lash line. Of course, tap off the excess first, and now we're just going to run it across our lower lash line. Now I'm going to go back in with this large flat Morphe brush, and I'm just going to clean up the edges and kind of like connect the bottom to the top. And I'm not going to pick up any product for this. I'm just going to push up the product that's already there. And if you mess up like I did right here, if you can see, I took some out a little too much. Don't worry, we're going to go back in with concealer and fix that up later. To tie in the yellow to the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with some edge and just run this under my lower lash line, right where we just placed that shadow. Now I'm going to line my waterline with ColourPop's Cream Gel Liner in Swerve. I'm just going to take this on a angled Morphe liner brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit, just like that. I'm just going to glide this across my waterline. Does anybody else make ridiculous faces when doing their eyeliner or mascara? Because I know I do. All the time. I look crazy. I'm also going to go ahead and line my upper waterline. I'm just going to tightline real quick with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Perversion. This is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just find that it helps make my upper lashes a bit more defined and just more smoky. I only focus this right at the outer corner, mainly because if I take it in any further, it's just so uncomfortable for me and I feel like I'm just gonna poke myself in the eye, so I avoid doing that. That's why I say, like, if you don't want to do this, I totally understand. Now I'm gonna go with some concealer. I'm gonna be using Tarte's Shape Tape in Light, and we're gonna start to clean up these edges. I'm gonna take some of this concealer on a Royal and Light Nickel Triad concealer brush, and we're just gonna place this right along the edge, following that nice sharp line that we made earlier. We're just going to extend that out to the lower lash line and then blend it out. My eye naturally has this fold right here, so it's really inconvenient, but something that helps me to just blend out the product a little bit easier is to make these crazy faces. It's just going to help to tighten this line right here and just give you such an easier time with blending. So just something like this. I know it looks crazy, you're going to look insane, but trust me, it helps so much. Now I'm going to go back in and just conceal under the eye as well. I really like doing this, especially with smoky looks, because having a nice bright under eye gives you such a nice contrast with the smoky eye. It just makes it look a lot brighter and cleaner. So that's why we're doing this step. As you can tell, this side with the concealer just looks a lot more awake, smoother, just nicer, and this side is just not as nice. Since we are working around the eye and the skin here is a lot more delicate, you don't want to be pulling or tugging your skin. That's why you'll notice I'm using just tapping motions and just pushing that product into my skin. I'm also going to take a little bit of concealer and run it down the sides of my nose just to contour a little bit. I find that this helps make my nose a little bit more slimmer. With some Laura Mercier translucent powder, I'm also going to take this down the sides of my nose, just pretty much where I put the concealer. I'm just going to go ahead and set it. To set, I'm just using this fluffy brush from Morphe. Next, I'm going to curl my lashes and apply mascara. I'm going to start off with the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer Base. This is just going to help to make my lashes longer. And then I'm actually going to go in with mascara. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Feline Noir. I normally don't wear false lashes, but for this look, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some Ardell 120 Demi Lashes. Now that I have my lashes on, I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with some makeup fixing mist. This is by Pixi. This is just going to help set all of my makeup, and pro tip, I actually like using this while my face is still wet. I like going in with some highlighter because it just really makes my highlighter pop a little bit extra. I'm going to take Cube on a Royal and Langnickel Highlight and Glow brush. So I'm just going to lightly dip this in, get some on my brush, and apply it right here underneath my eye in a C shape. As you can see, it's giving me this nice subtle glow. That is so gorgeous. Oh my god, I am in love with Cube as a highlight. It's like the perfect shade. Even though it has a bit of a pink reflex to it, it's really subtle, and as a highlight, honestly, it's really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and dust this on my nose, right on the tip, and in my Cupid's bow. I'm also gonna drag this up the bridge of my nose. Beautiful. To finish up the look, I'm gonna go in with this Pixi Multi Balm in the shade Baby Petal, and I'm just going to apply this on my lips using my pinky. I find that this method gives you the best application, so that's why I'm doing it like this. And that is it for this makeup look. I really hope that you enjoyed this look and find some inspiration for using those more unusual colors in the Subculture palette. Personally, I love the way that this look came out. It is gorgeous. I picked up my Subculture palette on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. It is currently sold out, but Norvina did mention on Twitter that it is going to be permanent, so if you miss it, don't worry. Also, it will be coming to your local Sephora, Macy's, Dillard, and Ulta online on August 1st, and it'll be available in stores and all those places on August 15th. So definitely be ready, save up your monies, it is totally worth it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why right now. As I'm sure most of you know, the Subculture palette is a sister palette to the Modern Renaissance, which is basically a more warm toned version of Subculture. So Subculture comes in this box right here. It just says Subculture on the front, and then Anastasia Beverly Hills in this rose gold color, and then Subculture in this nice mustardy yellow, which is also featured in the palette. On the back, it just has all of the ingredients and then an image of the shadow and all the colors in it. This palette is also a cruelty-free, hypoallergenic, and dermatologist tested. Once you take the palette out of the box, it looks like this. It has the same type of packaging on the front, just Subculture Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then once you flip it back, it also has all of the ingredients listed right there. Now, once you open up the palette, it looks like this. I actually didn't bother taking off the sticker yet on the mirror because I like that it has the Anastasia Beverly Hills logo right there, but I'll take it off eventually. Anyway, so it has these 14 shadows in here and the brush, which just fell out. It has a dual-sided brush like this. On one side you have the flat shader brush, and then on the other side you have this nice fluffy blending brush. These colors are creamy, pigmented, and easy to blend. When you pick them up with a brush, there's a bit of kick up in the pan, but once you apply them, if you're applying them correctly, there is no fallout. Like today I did not experience any fallout with these shades. I know that a lot of other people complain about the fallout and the kick up, but honestly, if you're just light-handed with the shadows and make sure to tap off the excess before placing them on your eyes, you're not going to experience fallout. It all comes down to how you're applying the product. ABH shadows are formulated in a way that's different than typical eyeshadows. At least, like for me, the eyeshadows that I'm used to, I really have to pick up a lot of shadow in order to get pigmentation, if any. Like I have to keep layering it on, but with these, since they're so pigmented, you truly need a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I know that a lot of people looked at this palette and were like, how am I gonna make a look using these colors? Like, they don't go together. But the thing is, they do. This palette was designed in a way that you can break it up into quads, and each quad can be used to create a cohesive look. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm gonna insert some clips. Basically, you can break up this palette into 6 different quads. So if we want to get onto the technical side of things, there's 14 shadows and each of them are 0.7 grams each. So if you break it down, that comes down to $3 a shadow. Now, if we want to compare these to other brands out there, I'm just going to compare them to Makeup Geek and ColourPop for reference. Makeup Geek sells a single pan shadow for $6 and it comes with 1.8 grams. Now that makes sense, it's about more than double of what you're getting per pan in the ABH palette, so it basically comes down to the same cost. Now comparing that to ColourPop's pressed powder shadows, a single pan is on average about 0.042 grams and they resell for $5. So comparing that to a single pan in Subculture, you're getting 16 times more the amount of product. So it's a totally amazing deal. It's so worth it. There's so many looks that you can create with them. It's the perfect fall palette. Like, I can't say enough good things about this palette. Norvina truly did an amazing job putting together the colors in Subculture. They complement each other so well and they're so unique and beautiful. I just want to give a quick thank you to Anastasia, Norvina, and the entire Anastasia Beverly Hills team for all of their hard work and efforts on this launch. Would I recommend this palette? Yes. 100% hands down, absolutely, I would recommend this palette. If you're somebody who's looking for a more unique palette and you want shadows that have a lot of pigmentation and are amazing quality, easy to blend, I definitely recommend these. But if you're somebody who likes to keep it safe, wears more neutral colors, you don't really like to branch out and play with colors too much, I don't recommend this for you because this is not the palette for you. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of every time that I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!